in a Fox Business exclusive is Booz Allen Hamilton CEO Horacio Rozanski. Horacio, listen, at a time when the government is cutting costs by ending some government contracts, tell us what is behind your strategy to get into the venture capital business.
Liz, it's great to be with you, and super excited on this Friday to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is how do we inject technology into the missions that matter the most to our country the fastest? And Booz Allen's been trying to do that and working on that for literally a decade. We do it with the hyperscalers and the largest companies. NVIDIA and Booz Allen have been collaborating for 7 or 8 years now. Most recently, we talked about 6G and creating an AI native cellular capability. We work with mid-sized companies like Shield AI and Versa and others. And for the smallest companies, it turns out we're actually a pretty good investor, but our strategy is not to be an investor. We don't want to be a VC. What we want to be is a strategic partner. And with these 17 companies and many more to come, we take their technology, we blend it with our technology, and together we co-create solutions that really make a difference for warfighters in the field, for people here at home, in space, in the ocean, everywhere.
How does becoming a strategic partner by giving money into, say, for example, some of the companies that we've already outlined, how does that work when it comes to adding to your bottom line? In two ways. I mean, obviously, we're an investor, and we're seeing good returns out of that, but that's not our primary. Our primary is that any of these companies, their technology marries up well with what we're doing already in some of these missions, so that what we can present together is truly unique. You mentioned Hidden Level, which does drone detection, great company. We have a capability of our own called CIDEX, which sits on the TAC, the tactical assault kit that soldiers wear. We can incorporate their feeds into that and make our soldiers more protected. That's one example of many. It feels like this is almost a Palantir type of model. I mean, in a few short years, Palantir has launched a bunch of deals with the U.S. government to modernize and upgrade divisions. And when you look at some of the numbers here, they are pretty impressive. Palantir, of course, is the big data aggregator. And it certainly helped their stock, not just to develop what they are doing, but needless to say, it has certainly helped to get them to partner with companies like Drones and Anduril, which is striking deals with the U.S. government. And right now, just so you know, Horacio, President Trump is arriving in Scotland, and he's leaving Air Force One. He's just landed in Glasgow. But when you look at your deals with the government, have you seen pretty much the end of the cutting of contracts? Because DOGE got in there and said, we don't need this contract, we don't need that contract. Have things stabilized now?
They really have. In the last few months, we had to make some difficult decisions to reset our civilian agency business. But our overall business is much more stable. In defense and intelligence, we just published results. Our business is growing well. We had a very good sales quarter this quarter where we added to our backlog quite significantly. It's not just the numbers, which of course we love, but it's more importantly the type of work. Mm-hmm. So we talked today about the TAC and CIDEX. We talked today on the earnings call about this program called TOC-L, which stands for Tactical Operations Center Light, which is a program for the Air Force.
Let's listen in. Horacio, if we could. The president is speaking right now and taking some questions. Yes. Let's just listen in for a second.
I'll be meeting with the EU on Sunday. And we'll be working on a deal. We'll see if we make a deal. Ursula will be here, highly respected woman. So we look forward to that. That'll be good. We'll have numerous executives that we're meeting with. We're going to be meeting with a lot of people. A lot of people will be staying at Turnberry, and then we're going to Aberdeen, which is the oil capital of Europe, actually.
Mr. President, can you explain what is missing in the UK deal that you have to work out?
Nothing. We I think it's more of a celebration than a workout. It's a great deal for both, and we're going to have a meeting on other things other than the deal. The deal is concluded.
So on Gaza, French President Emmanuel Macron just said that France will officially recognize the Palestinian state. What's your comment on
Well, that's what he does. I mean, that's fine if he does that. That's up to him. It's not up to me. I'm with the United States. I'm not with France.
And the humanitarian situation in Gaza, we hear very dire warnings about.
I think it's terrible what happened with Hamas. They tapped everybody along, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what response Israel has to that. But it's getting to be that time.
Are you concerned about the images? There's a 50-50 chance of a deal. What is left to work out? What are the final sticking points?
I don't know. With the European Union, I think we have a good 50-50 chance. That's a lot.
What are the sticking points that you
Well, I don't want to tell you what the sticking points are, but the sticking points are having to do with maybe 20 different things. You don't want to listen to all of them. Yes.
What advice are you going to have for our Prime Minister about free speech? It's very important to people here.
Well, it is, but I like your Prime Minister. He's slightly more liberal than I am, as you've probably heard, but he's a good man. He got a trade deal done. And, they've been working on this deal for 12 years. He got it done. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for the UK. So, no, I'll be seeing him tomorrow, I guess, tomorrow evening. And this is our wonderful ambassador, as you know. He's doing a good job. He's a very, very successful man. He'll be doing a good job.
The Royal and Ancient says you're going to have to improve infrastructure at Turnberry to bring the Open back. Is that something you're going to?
I don't know. The best course anywhere in the world is Turnberry. The players all want to be at Turnberry. Everybody wants to be at Turnberry, so we'll see how that works out.
The infrastructure needs to be.
I think the infrastructure in the course is good. In fact, the Royal and Ancient. I don't know if you're aware of this. They spent a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or probably into the millions of dollars, and they've laid all the wire for television and for electricity under the holes of Turnberry, so that when the Open gets there, they have it all done. They paid for that.
But we're talking about roads and railway stations.
Well, I don't know. See, I don't know what you can do. All I can tell you is that it would be the best place anywhere in your country to have. There's no place like it. There's no place like Turnberry. It's the best, probably the best course in the world. And I would say Aberdeen is right up there also. Aberdeen's great. And while we're here, I'll be with my son, and he's going to cut a ribbon for the second course at Aberdeen, which is just about equal to the first. I mean, it's going to be a battle. It's, as you know, they're very highly rated. Yeah. And the second course is great. Sean Connery helped get me the permits. If it weren't for Sean Connery, we wouldn't have those great courses. No, I was never briefed. No.
Did you ask how?
What are you hoping Todd Blanche interviewing Elaine Maxwell? What are you hoping that they get out of that?
I really have really nothing to say about it. She is being talked to by a very smart man, by a very good man, Todd Blanche. And I don't know anything about the conversation. I haven't really been following it. A lot of people are asking me about pardons. Obviously, this is no time to be talking about pardons. But a lot of people have asked about pardon.
All right, President Trump making some headlines here, saying the U.S.-UK deal has been concluded, and he reiterated that they are maybe 50-50 close to a deal. Those are the odds with the European Union. Let's bring back Horacio Rozanski of Booz Allen Hamilton. You hear all of this. Trade deals, how does that really work for a company like yours? How important is it to see that kind of stability come through?
Very much so. Earlier this week, the president signed a number of executive orders, for example, about advancing and accelerating AI, which is something we're obviously very involved with. And one in particular is about ensuring that American AI is exported around the world. These trade deals, I think, will help. And this is something that we are tracking because we're involved in that ecosystem, not just with ventures investments, but ourselves. There's, for example, wording in there about securing these models, which we believe is absolutely critical. And we live at the intersection of AI and cyber.
I do want to ask, because it's been a heck of a couple of weeks for the president. He's had some really big successes, one of them being the pretty much perfect bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. And I know that you can't really often talk about Booz Allen's involvement in anything like that, but in the past, you've actually been sanctioned by Iran, as sort of a reciprocal sanction after the U.S. sanctioned some of the Iranian people there. So can you give me a sense of any kind of partnership that you've had with the United States that maybe helped in this Iranian bombing?
Yeah, so for background, during President Trump's first term, I was not just our company, but I was also personally sanctioned by Iran for our work on behalf of the U.S. government, much of which advances American interests around the world and in the Middle East.
Right.
We certainly continue to do that, and now more and more we bring technology to it. And so I was both gratified and impressed with the president's leadership there, with what our men and women in uniform were able to do. And I just, it's a moment of pride.
Yep, I think a lot of Americans agree. Horacio, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be watching more of Booz Allen's investments in some startups here and see what they reach.